Deciding what is true and what isn't now seems to me a lack of modesty. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Franchise Deep Dive with Jake and Josh, the podcast where we dive deep into all of your favorite and least favorite movie franchises. I'm Jake.
And I'm Josh.
And for anybody who is a returning viewer, I bet me and Josh, me in particular, look a little different than we might have in the last episode, Three Colors White. And that is because, and I do apologize, guys, if you are a returning viewer and a fan of the podcast, we were supposed to record Three Colors Red way back when we recorded Three Colors Blue and White. And the plan was to record it either in the next couple days or the following weekend. That did not happen. So if you're wondering why my facial hair looks a lot thicker or why Josh's hair might look a little different, that is the reason. So I do apologize, guys. Life is busy either way. And obviously holiday season, so Thanksgiving and Halloween, all that stuff. So a lot going on either way. That's the explanation for that. I don't know what else to say there, but here we are. How you doing, Josh? How's life going?
It's going, man. I'm in the Christmas spirit. I don't know about you. I had a good Thanksgiving. Dude, I've watched so many Christmas movies already. So many.
I watched a couple, and then I think I started to realize recently that I don't like Christmas movies.
Oh, I watched like 40. You don't like them?
What?
Maybe 30.
Josh, it's December 6th.
Oh, I started the first week in November.
No, I don't touch a single Christmas movie until at least the day after Thanksgiving. To which the day after Thanksgiving, I did watch Black Christmas, the original.
Yeah, see, I get it. I'm not as strict as all that. I don't know. Plus, being in Colorado, I'm not here for Christmas, so like I feel like I need an earlier start. So like we decorated the first week into November. So the decorations were out, and I'm like, well, I might as well throw them on. And I just kept throwing on Christmas. More for back. I didn't sit and intently watch them all. I just kind of like had them playing like all the time.
Yeah. Just like in the background, kind of.
Yeah, like I think I've already watched Home Alone twice or three times. So.
Oh wow, yeah. See, no, Home Alone 1 and 2, I save those till like a couple days before Christmas, if not. Well, on Christmas I usually watch Christmas Vacation, or like
I've watched that like 5 times already.
Jesus.
I just put it on. Like last night I put it on, but I wasn't watching it. I was watching like parts as I would like.
Okay, I don't do that. I've never been like a passive movie watcher. Like it's just not in my. It just my brain doesn't work that way. I can't like if I'm putting a movie on, and that's why I don't know if you were this way growing up. Like all of my close friends who I would like have sleepovers with or whatever, they were always the kids who they had to fall asleep with something on the TV, and I was like the complete opposite. I hated staying over other kids' houses because if they were those kind of kids, because even if you have like a TV show on, like it was always fucking George Lopez. And I know that's like a meme, and I'm not just like playing
I would just wake up to George Lopez.
I would have to watch it because it would be like 2 a.m. and I couldn't sleep because if my brain hears something, like I can do white noise, like a fan or back when my Alexa still worked, I would put on like a thunderstorm or something, like that stuff works. But if there's like a narrative, if there's like characters talking, I just can't fall asleep. It just doesn't work for me. So like passive watching, not in my wheelhouse.
Really? So you never just put on stuff to fill the air?
No, never.
Oh, I do all the time. All the time.
See, if I'm doing like I've heard you talk about like, oh, I'll put something on the TV, like a movie or something, and I'll cook dinner or do laundry or something like that. That's when I throw my headphones in and I'll listen to music. That's what like fills, I guess, the empty the empty air. But
wow, yeah. All the time there's a movie playing at my place like all the time.
Yeah, no, I never been me, but obviously we're already getting off track. Three Colors Red, or Trois Couleurs Rouges, if you will. the third film in the Three Colors trilogy from director Krzysztof Kieslowski, and I'll get into the budget, box office, and critical reception of the movie in a minute, and then we'll get into the discussion and everything. And very similar to Three Colors Blue and Three Colors White, I think this episode is going to be much more focused on just our conversation, our feelings on the film, what we took from it and interpreted from the scenes, and less so the backstory of the movie. Because really, we covered a lot of that in the first episode and how Kieslowski was kind of commissioned. And we'll talk a little bit about like the color red and its place in that movie and symbolically and everything. However, and I guess this is a fun little addition to us waiting so long to record this episode, but something happened recently. A Mr. Quentin Tarantino, everybody's favorite director that has a foot fetish. He has said some stuff in the news, I guess. One being that Paul Dano is the worst actor in the Screen Actors Guild. And not only that, but he is the sole reason that There Will Be Blood is not the best film of the century. To which Tarantino himself then took it upon himself to release and put out into the world his top 20 movies of the 21st century. So the last 25 years of cinema. 25 years, thousands of movies. And before me and Josh, because I thought it would be fun for us to make our own little top 20 of the 21st century and just see what we have in common and where we kind of differ. And then we'll get into the discussion. So this episode might be a tad longer. I can't stay too long today, Josh. Sorry, I am seeing Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair in a couple hours. So
can't support him, Jake. Can't support him right now. Listen, I can't support him this week.
Listen, I love Kill Bill. This is the only chance I'm ever going to have to see The Whole Bloody Affair. There's a whole animated sequence made specifically for this movie. It's 4.5 hours. I'm very excited. Top 20. Sorry, I should have had this pulled up, but I just
I got them both pulled up right now.
All right, I got Tarantino's, and then we can go into ours. So in order from worst to best. Actually, this fucking list has it best to worst. So we're going to go 1 to 20. The best movie of the last 25 years, according to Quentin Tarantino, Black Hawk Down, followed by Toy Story 3. Then Lost in Translation, followed by Dunkirk, There Will Be Blood, Zodiac, Unstoppable, Mad Max Fury Road, Shaun of the Dead. I know Josh is probably happy about that one. Midnight in Paris, Battle Royale, Big Bad Wolves, Jackass the Movie, School of Rock, The Passion of the Christ, and of course this is when the internet stops working for me. Chocolat.
Good. Oh.
Moneyball, Cabin Fever, and Steven Spielberg's West Side Story. So those are Tarantino's top 20 movies of the decade. And obviously, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, definitely leave your top 20 movies of the 21st century in the comment section down below. We'd love to read those and kind of dig into those. And hey, guys, if you do, maybe we'll read them on one of these episodes, and we'll talk about your top 20. We'll see.
Did I hear you say Devil's Rejects?
Oh no, I'm sorry. That must have been when my thing. I must have skipped over it.
Oh yeah, can't forget that.
Yes, I'm sorry. Between Passion of the Christ and Chocolat is The Devil's Rejects from director Rob Zombie, who is an alum of this show. We have talked about Rob Zombie before, as far back as our very first episode on The Matrix. So that's fun. Josh, what is your top 20 movies of the 21st century? Go from worst to best. Yeah. Go from 20 down to 1.
This is a working list, people. I could still be making adjustments. The last few were kind of tough. So from 20 difficult. To 1, we got Before Sunset, Nickel Boys, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, The Taste of Things, Tar, La La Land.
Oh, God. Okay, continue.
Whiplash,
Good.
Memories of Murder,
Great.
The Social Network, Birdman, Old Boy, Before Midnight,
Yes.
The Brutalist, After Sun, Eternal Sunshine,
Okay.
Her, Moonlight, Synecdoche, New York, No Country for Old Men, and There'll Be Blood.
Was that 20? That felt like more than 20. That was 20?
Yeah, it was 20.
It sounded like more.
Maybe it's my slow speaking.
No. I think I just like zoned out.
And
like,
I'm
a
waiting
second
for
there.
Jake to come back around to La La Land because this guy just hates it more and more.
I don't hate La La Land. I think it's a very,
He was
very
disgusted.
solid 8 out of 10, 4 stars.
Oh, it's
I
an 8
just
now.
think as a society we're better than La La Land.
See, I think last time we talked, you even gave it a 7. I think maybe that was some bitterness talking.
What do I have it on? I thought I had it at 4 stars on.
You did. That's why I was thrown off
Letterboxd.
when you said it's a 7 out of 10. I was like, oh, you need to
Yeah,
lower your rating.
I have it at 4 stars. So
You talked about lowering
right.
it. But you
yeah, I
never
just
did,
don't
guess.
fucking want to. I don't ever want to rewatch it. There's nothing about it that makes me want to return to it. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought you were better than that.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
All right. My list from 20 down to 1. Now, Josh and me are going to have some overlap. I did change my list a little bit this morning. I removed a film that Josh was not a fan of. The Substance was on my list originally.
I bullied the
and
shit out of Jake.
I did take it out for a movie that I do think deserves the spot over it because I do think that this movie had more of an impact on cinema in the last 25 years, whereas like The Substance, it's very new and it could go up. And I do have newer films on here, but oh my God, why? Technology is so annoying when things don't work the way that they're supposed to. I'm getting heated. Oh my God.
Let me tell you, this list looks insanely better without that one problem. That being in there, honestly, I thought there was more movies that I disagreed with, but it was really just that was thrown off the whole list.
What, The Substance?
Yes.
Well, yeah, because The Substance is the only movie on my list that you actively don't like.
Yeah, but
So,
there
of
were
course,
some
it's
oth-
gonna,
there
like-
was- yeah, but there were some others that I was like kind of iffy on being in there.
Oh, well, you'll have to tell me because everything else is still the same. Coming in at number 20 is Dunkirk, followed by Parasite, then Dune Part 2, and then the movie that I did take The Substance out for, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. I do love Lord of the Rings, and Fellowship is my favorite. Honestly, like I would include all 3 of them if it didn't take up so many placements, but yeah, Lord of the Rings. Followed
it's
by
tough.
Steve McQueen's Hunger from 2008, which is a film that I watched recently, actually, just a couple months ago. Fantastic. Haven't had a movie impact me that much in a long time. I'm Thinking of Ending Things, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Titane, Memories of Murder, Zodiac, Mad Max Fury Road, Her, Moonlight, The Brutalist, Birdman, Old Boy, There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men, Synecdoche, New York, and the best film of the last 25 years, The Master, from Paul
Which
Thomas
I have not
Anderson.
seen. Which I have
That's
not seen
great. Oh my
still.
God. Yeah, The
So
Master.
if anyone
is
was shocked
fucking
at some movies I
fantastic.
might not have had in there, The Master I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen Titane. I haven't. No, that's about it. I think I've seen everything else on here. I haven't seen
You
Hunger.
still haven't seen Titane.
Nope.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, same with Josh's list. I have not seen Tar. I have not seen Taste of Things. And did you have Broker in there?
No. But you saw Nickel Boys, right?
Yes, I did have Nickel Boys. Nickel Boys almost made a lot of movies that I gave like 4.5 stars to almost made it. Like Nickel Boys. I really wanted to kind of put in Zone of Interest towards the end there. Off of Tarantino's list, I love Battle Royale. I really thought about putting Battle Royale in there.
Wow. Jake,
Yeah, Battle Royale.
yeah,
I think
so
it's fantastic.
I was complaining to Jake the other day because like his list instantly just made me go on his letterbox and say, wait a minute, am I going crazy here? I know this man has. I know a lot of these are 4.5s. Well, not a lot, but like some of these are 4.5s. I know this man has 5 stars that aren't in this list. What's going on? And I still can't figure it out.
I mean, my sentiment, and I feel like we've talked about this on the podcast before with like scores, is like anything that I give like a 9 out of 10 to, I think there could be a very easy case made for why it could be a 10 out of 10. So
that's such a big jump to me. That's why it doesn't like compute to me. Like a 9 out of 10 versus a movie I gave a 10. They are so like.
You think they're that far off in quality?
They're pretty far, I think, because each decimal, like the decimals, kind of like mean something to me. I feel like there's so many movies. I need some kind of like some meaning to the hierarchy. I can't just be saying, "Hey, this 9.2 basically is a 10." I understand. And that's kind of how I am with like once it gets to like the mid 9s, then I'm like, okay, that's fine. Then I can see what you're saying. But like, dude, when we talked about the Before trilogy, I didn't hear you say really one flaw of those. And I'm like, not one made this list. And maybe trilogies are hard for you.
No,
I don't know.
Before Midnight and Before Sunset almost made the list too. It's tough. It's tough making a top 20. It's like
I kind of almost didn't put. Yeah, I almost didn't put Sunset because I was like, I understand trilogies are hard. That's why it feels weird putting one Lord of the Rings and not the others. So I almost didn't put Sunset in because I'm like, well, I have a Before movie in, and I know I shouldn't do that because it's like, well, is this movie better? I might, and that's why I said I might take Before Sunset out and put something else in there. Like I was shocked you had Dunkirk in there over some of those Before movies.
Yeah, I think Dunkirk is just from just like a filmmaking level, just fantastic.
I haven't seen it since the theaters, so like I need to rewatch that.
Yeah, I picked it up on 4K Blu-ray about a year ago, and then I think I saw it. Yeah, because I came out of the new Alex Garland film Warfare that came out earlier this year, and
that shit was scary. That shit was loud.
That movie has some of the best sound design. It is like almost a full-on horror movie, that film. Like,
dude, yeah, I was on edge the whole time. I hated it, but I liked it.
I think it made me. The more I thought about Warfare, it kind of pissed me off how underutilized Joseph Quinn was in the Fantastic Four movie. Because it's like this guy can fucking act. Like he is just screaming for like.
He's got the chops.
90% of that movie, and Fantastic Four is like, yeah, we're just not gonna let any of these actors other than like Vanessa Kirby do anything. Yeah, it's tough making a top 20. It's you're trying to balance out like your personal favorites and also like what you think is the best. And so it's like, yes, I love the Before trilogy. I think they're great, but are they like top 20 of the? They maybe it's tough. They probably
I don't know,
would have
man.
had
Your
like
10,
that
your 10 out of 10 ratings
spots.
would have told me, yeah. See, this is why you got to be a little bit more. You got to be a little bit more conservative with your 10s.
I think you need to be more liberal with your 10s. I think you need to let yourself enjoy things more.
They mean something. Listen, if I'm giving something a 9.5, I'm fucking enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
That's what I'm saying.
This is what happens though when you just dish out 10s, because now they're not even making top 20s, and movies you gave like a 9 to are making it in there. We're getting jumbled here.
A 10 is a feeling. I stand by that. As critical and as objective as we try to be, I still think at the end of the day, because we've already talked about this, as objective as we try to be with movies when we're giving like a critical score or something, and we try to view a lot of cinema under like a critical lens, at the end of the day, we've already talked about on this podcast how I think you're more critical of scripts than I am, and I'm maybe more critical of things like cinematography. So like a movie with amazing cinematography, that's going to elevate that movie's score higher for me than it is you. And a movie with a really tight-knit script, I think is going to bump that movie up for you more than it is me.
Yeah.
Like, so
it's kind of how I am with like video games though. Like video games, listen, great graphics are really good. Like and a lot of details really good. But I'm more concerned with the writing, the storyline, like what I'm playing
totally
for.
Fair.
You know, like so like what am I watching this movie for? You know?
No, absolutely.
So I think maybe that's why. I don't know.
But also, I think there's a difference between something like cinematography and like video game graphics, because a better comparison would just be like a movie being in 4K as opposed to like 1080p, right? Whereas like cinematography is actual creative choices, and it's the cinematographer and the director working together, hopefully in tandem, making creative choices, hopefully at least, and making decisions to, hey, how are we going to present this scene? You know, that's always been a big criticism of like Marvel movies for me, is just like it doesn't feel like there's a vision. It just feels like they wrote the scene and they didn't think of, hey, how can we shoot this in a creative way? How are we presenting this, and how are we going to convey this to the audience and communicate it? But yeah, either way, you know, it's tough. It's tough making a top 20. But like I said, guys, leave your top 20 movies of the 21st century in the comments down below. I think it'd be a lot of fun to read into those and see what you guys have to say, and see what movies make your list and what don't, and what overlap we have. I know Josh and I had a couple of films that, you know, made both of our lists. Did you have No Country? You had it, right?
Yeah, it's my number 2.
Did you have Synecdoche? I forgot if I heard about that one.
Yeah, it's my number 3.
The 3? Okay. So, yeah. Literally, our 2 and 3 are the same, just swapped order.
And we both have Moonlight and Her right next to each other, with like Moonlight ahead of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, did you have Fury Road on there as well?
I didn't. No.
That's tough for me.
And you know what? That's one I could. That's one I could. See, that's the thing, is like, I might think, this is where I kind of agree with you. I might think Before Sunset is a better movie, but I have to, like, for a top 20 of the century, should I factor in what movies do for a specific genre? That's tough.
That's the tough part. Well, geez, by that case, then Paranormal Activity should make our lists.
Yeah, and The Substance.
Dude, The Substance is great. It's so good. We should just do a whole episode about us arguing about that movie.
I'll explode. I'll explode.
No, it's okay. It's not for everybody. I understand. It's a very divisive movie that
I don't even know if it is, because I'm very much in the minority. Like, I do not see many people dislike The Substance, and that's what I can't understand.
It's not a movie that I see a lot of people neutral on. It almost seems like you either love it or you hate it. Like, it doesn't say. There's very few people I've seen that are like lukewarm on it. Like, oh yeah, not for me, or yeah, I just kind of like it. You either are all in or you are all out on that movie.
My rating is lukewarm, but I have more extreme like sentiments, like when I talk about it. Like I talk like I hate it, but like
most of your extreme sentiments come from being upset at how much I love it.
Honestly, maybe.
All right. Well, we definitely spent too long on that, but that could have
been a whole episode. We should have just done a top 20 of the century episode.
We really should have. Maybe because, guys, we talked about it. We're going to take a small hiatus and come back strong beginning of 2026 in January. You guys are going to be getting our episodes. We're doing Batman 89 and Batman Returns with a guest host from the show Cinema Dopes, and then they are dropping their episode, which is going to be Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, which me and Josh joined their podcast for. So you're going to be getting that stuff to tide you over in December, and then January we're going to come back strong. And we're thinking of changing up the release format a little bit, but we'll talk about that when that time comes. But maybe we'll just do like an end of the year type episode where me and you just, talk about our favorite movies of the year. Maybe we could do like a full on art episode where we talk about like everything, TV shows, music, our favorite movies of the year, all of that stuff. So that could be fun. But either way, let's get to the actual topic of today's episode, and that is Toi Calais Red. And I will set the foundation for the movie. That way we can just get right into the discussion. Toi Calais Rouge, released in 1994, of course directed by Krzysztof Kieslowski. Again, as I mentioned on the previous 2 episodes, don't know the budget for these movies, but it made $4 million at the box office, has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 100% from critics and 94% from audiences. I also happen to know that it is one of the few films that holds a 100 on Metacritic, as that site is typically a little bit more critical and tough on films. But yeah, let me read the IMDb synopsis, and that way we can just start talking about it. A model discovers a retired judge is keen on invading people's privacy.
So simple. So simple.
Yes, very simple. these are not plot-driven movies per se. They're very character-focused. They're character studies, essentially. You're exploring these characters' lives. It's not about what happens. It's more about like how it happens and just following these characters' journeys, I guess, to say the least. But yeah, so what did you think of Three Colors Red?
Without lending my hand too much,
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it. I loved every second. I mean, these movies are it's hard not to just like love all three of them. I don't really know anyone that doesn't like these, but dude, brushing up on my notes for these is a little tough. Like we've gone so long, but I'm trying to like kind of recap like blue, white. So this one is all about fraternity, kind of just like that. Really digs into the like interconnectedness of people and just our relationships with each person, and that kind of like plays into what we've seen before. Let me tell you, this is the best opening of the trilogy for me. It's my favorite one. Like, I never understood the cover of this movie for the Criterion. I never knew what that was.
Yeah.
And like when you finally get that, it's like, oh shit. Oh, it's so like visually pleasing and like symbolically pleasing when you realize this is like really just tying in everything I was watching, like just going through those like wires and the telephone cables, I guess, and you're going like through like the channels, the ocean to like other parts of it goes from what the like UK is it I don't remember like where it goes.
Oh, I don't know the exact locations.
I'm trying. It's like I don't know, but it's so good and it feels so simple, but it just works so well and it like just sets the pace, it sets the tone so well for what we're gonna see. And yeah, dude, their relationship with Valentine and what's his name, the judge.
Ooh, I just call him.
I know, like I got to pull all these things up to like remember these names at this point.
I have the IMDb up, so the cast should be there. Yes, Irene Jacobs plays Valentine, who is our lead, and Jean-Louis Trintignant. He's just called the judge. He doesn't have a name.
Sure, yeah, okay. I was about to say I'm just gonna call him Judge.
Yeah, it just says Le Judge. So there you have that. No, I fully agree, and this is always what we talk about when we're discussing, especially filmmaking on this podcast, is just the best films are the ones, and I guess we loosely talked about this a little bit, earlier this episode, but the best films are the ones that use filmmaking and the language of filmmaking to communicate what the script and story is trying to convey. And this one, obviously, I think this one, it's so tough because comparing like the cinematography of this film to per se Three Colors Blue, because like I go back and forth all the time on which one I think is like the better shot film, and it's so tough because they're going for such different things. But you're absolutely right, like the way that the opening shot of this film, that like very fast moving tracking shot through the cables, through the wires, which like you added is the Criterion cover. I think the regular cover, at least the one that's on HBO Max, is her photo shoot from her doing the bubblegum thing in front of the red background. But yeah, it just sets the foundation of the film up right from the beginning. And I remember the first time watching this, and luckily I was able to revisit it, at least most of it, before we sat down to record this. And obviously looking through, video essays and the Wikipedia page surprisingly has like a good amount of analysis and people's interpretations of what this film is trying to get at. But it seems like the core crux of this movie is communication and relationships. And obviously that lends to what you were talking about with this film being Three Colors Red, and red symbolizing fraternity. And that's really And it really started to click with me this time around that this is the entire trilogy, even though it is these separate stories and they do link up, it really does sort of build to this film in a weird way. And not just the way that the film ends, which we can talk about from like a story perspective, but this entire trilogy from Blue to Red, it has always been about communication and relationships with people.
Yeah.
In the first film, Three Colors Blue, you have a character who has lost everything, who loses her husband, loses her daughter, and wants to just completely disconnect from the world and emotion and everything. And so she goes down this sort of, essentially this rabbit hole of self-loathing, only to come out the other side a better person and to realize that human connection and life, they mean something to her, and she wants to live again. And carrying that over into Three Colors White, which we talked about on that episode, is the most lighthearted of the trilogy and the most easygoing. But also, that movie is also about communication and relationships, where you literally have two characters at the beginning of the film when they're going through the divorce hearing who need a translator to communicate between the two. Like, they're having such bad fundamental levels of communication that they need someone to communicate for them. Cut to how that movie ends, where these characters are communicating from a distance without speaking a single word and just facial expression and hand gestures. And now we jump to this third film, Three Colors Red, and you get maybe the most interesting relationship in the trilogy between the judge and this character, and just the kind of randomness of life and how it can lead you to these very unique relationships and connections with people you never would have met. I just think it's all very like fascinating and just very well set up, and a lot of incredible filmmaking, like we said.
Yeah, so it seems like I have to watch more of his films, but Kieslowski seems to like the small moments that lead you to the big moments. Mm-hmm. And he's even made films, I think, like Blind Chance, where it follows three different scenarios based off of a decision, which I love. I absolutely love the idea of like
awesome.
I know, which like every little thing we do, just like you'll look 10 years and realize how much that small decision impacted your life. And and that's explored here. And you know, I'm looking at my notes here, and I didn't scroll down enough when I was talking about the opening, but I wrote like a nice little like reasoning of what I like about the opening, and some things I kind of forgot about that. So it begins, I wrote, with like a missed connection when he dials the phone. And I think he dials again, and then that's where we're kind of thrown into that like roller coaster of the like the cables and like electrical pulses and shit like that. But it goes through the tunnel and onto like a switchboard with like a blinking light, which is like the busy signal, and then it just goes red. And I absolutely love that, like just how much storytelling is just in that visual kind of like opening. There's no dialogue, but it's such like a unique way to talk about how important even stuff like just radios and telephones are going to play into this movie, and just like how it plays into our connections with people. And I don't know, it's what, like 2 minutes, and I don't know, it's like one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. But
what's great too is not only is that filmmaking present in the opening of the film, but it continues throughout. And one of the best things that Kieslowski does in this film is his framing choices, which I absolutely love, and kind of going off that sentiment about missed communication and how it kind of starts with that phone call, and you know, even kind of linking that to the judge and how he is, because we really didn't get into the plot of this film, but it essentially kind of kicks off this relationship between the judge and Valentine, because she accidentally hits her dog. You know, I don't know if you caught this, but she hits the dog because she's fiddling with the radio that loses signal.
Yeah, so
that's right? Like that, and that's
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up on the first watch. It just clicked with me on the second one, kind of going into it, knowing a little bit more what Kieslowski's trying to go for in this specific film. But the framing choices in this film, I absolutely love when you're talking about trying to visually convey themes and subtext and going off of that idea of communication and characters, quote unquote, being on the same page or the same level. What Kieslowski does in this film multiple times is he has characters framed in very specific ways in which a character is either above or below another character. Almost every single scene that Valentine and the judge interact in this film, one of the characters is standing above the other. They are never on the same level. They're never standing on the same level or on the same page. Even the other couple that we kind of follow throughout the film, one of the couples that is being spied on by the judge character, there's a scene in the film where he's trying to hide, and he's kind of like hiding under this I don't know what the word is, what you'd call it, but like he's kind of hiding under the street essentially. And so like his character is like physically below the character that he's trying to hide from. And I just thought it was like very, very well done from both just like a staging and blocking and cinematography perspective of what Kieslowski is able to accomplish in this film just through the filmmaking. Like that, like, yes, the script is amazing. The characters have a lot of depth and they feel lived in and fleshed out. And all of that is great too. And I connect with that, but it's just, again, it's just what I get out of movies, what I love about watching a film is just that, just using, again, the language of cinema to just evoke emotions in ways that you might not even be conscious of until a rewatch or until you look more into the purpose and intent behind the film. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough to talk about these films, but
I know, and especially when you just watch them once or even twice, like these require so many viewings to just pick up on so many little things. Like I'm looking at my notes and like, yeah, I know, and like some of my notes, I wish I remembered more about like why I wrote some of the stuff, but I am remembering some kind of like overall camera work and style. Like I have a note here where I just write, there's a lot of like, I love how there's so much like omnipotence to the camera work. A lot of it is like hovering over people, and it just makes you feel like there's I don't know, there's like this, I don't really know how to describe it. Like I don't know like why that stood out to me when I was watching it. I wish I fucking watched this again before we record. I really should have, but I don't know. It's like this. It's kind of like there's a lot of like fate that happens in these movies. So it's like fate is like kind of like in control here. Like these people are not really. We're kind of like we're observing everything happening. We're watching over everything. There's like, I don't know. It's not. They don't feel in control in terms of like where their life is heading, kind of. And just some things that stood out to me that I remember. Just with like framing and stuff like that and blocking, when we're following the young judge, what's his name? Auguste, right?
August,
yeah. He's driving in his red Jeep, you know, a little splash of red there, but he's just I don't know if it's when he goes is when he arrives to her picture, but I think it's just when the camera pans following the Jeep, and then he goes out of the frame, and then Valentine walks out of the store, and she's just walking the opposite way. And it's just like this this blocking of them just going two different directions at like, you know, separate times, but just the camera just staying on one shot, just focused on one and then the other, and just kind of linking them or setting kind of like that foreshadowing of this connection that we will see later on. And also like just the parallels to like this young judge and the older judge. There's so many layers to this, where they're like drawing kind of like this connection between these judges and their lives and what they've been through. They've kind of like gone through very similar things. I don't think it's explicitly said, because the judge is kind of like, you don't really know. I from what I remember, he talks about his past a little bit with like his wife. I can't remember I can't remember where that went. Did she leave, or did she pass? I can't remember what happened to his wife at this point. But I remember it, like, it was very similar to what we were seeing with the young judge, and it was almost like, I just like that idea that he was kind of like the embodiment of what that judge used to be, and that there is like this very sweet platonic connection between her and the older judge, and more of this romantic connection of her and the younger judge. And it's almost like, what if this guy was born a little later in life? This is what this would have looked like, kind of thing. Yeah. So many cool things to string together. I don't know. It's like,
no, and it goes back to what we were just saying, where it's these movies essentially require multiple viewings, and it's just, again, like my favorite kind of films, and I think yours as well. Not that there's anything wrong with like a pulpy popcorn flick, you know, or like a fun summer blockbuster. Those have their place too, but I think a lot of our favorite films are ones that leave you with a lot to chew on. They leave you feel satisfied, but you also are of the mindset where it's, I want to look into this more. I want to hear other people's interpretations and adaptations of it. And one thing too that I absolutely love about how this film and how this trilogy is kind of structured is, I think there's something so kind of hilarious, but also subtly brilliant, that the climax of this trilogy is essentially a woman successfully recycling a bottle. Right? And I didn't even think about this as the actual climax of the trilogy until I was looking into this a little bit more, and someone had pointed out that, and we had talked about this in the previous episodes, but in the first, there is a scene that feels very dreamlike of Juliette Binoche's character, of basically not ignoring, but not realizing that an older woman, I think it's an older woman, I forget, because it's a girl in the one and a guy in the other, but either way, there's an older person and they're struggling to recycle the bottle. And the way that this interpretation had kind of read it was that Juliette Binoche's character kind of just, she doesn't realize it because she's trying to disconnect from the world. So her surroundings are just background to her. She doesn't acknowledge it. And then in the following film, the main character, Carol, he notices an older person trying to recycle, and they're struggling, and he just laughs at them. And then you get to this film, and Valentine is the only one of the three who is present, aware, acknowledges that this person is struggling, and helps them. And it really serves as the climax of this trilogy, a trilogy where each of these characters are going through these journeys, these emotional, voyages, essentially. And for it to all just kind of boil up to that moment, I think is just really well done and really well handled. And it takes something so simple and mundane, like it's an old person recycling.
Yeah, it's like it's such a simple, like, mundane arc between different characters. Like
100%.
So now we're having arcs that stretch across a trilogy for something as just one action, and it's so effective.
No, it's such a unique trilogy in that sense, because it's like, you look at other trilogies and it's like, oh, Star Wars, they gotta destroy the Death Star and defeat Emperor Palpatine, and Lord of the Rings, it's, oh, we gotta destroy the One Ring, and we gotta fight this giant battle, and it's all this crazy over the top action stuff, and so plot heavy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, they're two completely separate entities going for different things, but I just love that we have a trilogy where, again, we're leading to a person recycling a bottle, and like the satisfaction comes from, Jesus, like, you brought it up in one of the episodes. I think it's blue. It might be white. I'm forgetting, but the bottle just stays there. The person puts the bottle into the thing, but it doesn't fall into the recycling bin. It just stays there. I think it's blue as well. But like, again, like that satisfaction coming from a person recycling a bottle. I just think it's very fascinating, and I think Three Colors Red just has so many interesting elements to it. I love, like you said, like the way it's shot. I think we brought up in the previous episodes that each one of these Three Colors films has a different cinematographer, even though Kieslowski returns to direct all three. But I love the visual style of this film. It's obvious, but I love the way that they implement Red into this movie with, the clothing that they wear and the production design. And I love that, this kind of reoccurring image of her on the billboard and how that's utilized. And yeah, again, a lot to unpack with these, but
yeah, well, I have I don't know if you have any pieces of writing from this movie that you liked, but thank God thank God that this is one I took a fair amount of notes on, because sometimes we go into this no notes. Could you imagine if we had no notes for this? Oh man,
I'll be honest, I didn't have a lot.
Well, you also watched at least some of it, like before we recorded.
I did. I watched like, about the first hour or so.
Yeah, but yeah, my favorite, at least one of my favorites, is when she's talking to Judge about his love life, kind of. Have you ever loved? It starts with that, and he says, yesterday I had a dream. I had a dream about you. You were 40 or 50 years old, and you were happy. And she says, do your dreams come true? And he just says, it's been years since I had a nice dream. That is such a sweet exchange. It just, you can tell how much this girl like means to him. Like he finally has someone come into his life that maybe he longs for, but he knows realistically this is not something that's like, it's I don't know, it just plays into this like whole missed opportunity thing, or just like, not even missed opportunity because there wasn't an opportunity, but like, just like, I don't know.
It's just like, where was this person years ago?
Yeah,
kind of thing.
And but him having this dream, and him even saying like, I haven't dreamt in a long time, or I haven't had a nice dream in a long time. And he meets this girl, they have this connection, and he has this dream where he just sees her older and happy. I don't know. It was so nice, and I think that it's just such a like a sweet friendship between them, and you're kind of like having the question of like, it's like this kind of rhetorical question of will they, won't they? Because they won't, but there's something there where it's just like, but I love these two together if they were just on the same timeline,
Yeah. See, I never like kind of looked into it or looked at it from like a romantic perspective. I didn't,
because it's not really like, it doesn't play into the romance, but I think you're just, I don't know if it's the color red. You're kind of like, it's associated with like passion and like love and stuff like that. Oh, and you don't know if it's playing into that or if it's, I don't know, but it's never, it never crosses that line though of like ridiculousness of like, I don't want them to be like, because they can come off corny. It is fully platonic, but it kind of makes you just like love the feeling between them. So like my mind kind of goes to like, wow, these two would have been like, I just wish they were fucking same age, it's, I don't know.
See, that's an interesting kind of I guess interpretation of it, because I think what makes their relationship so interesting is she is this very kind of innocent, sweet person, and he's kind of a bad person, essentially.
Yeah.
Like he's the whole relationship and the way it kind of unfolds and develops between them, and that platonic friendship is kind of built around this moment where she catches him eavesdropping on his neighbors, and like it becomes this whole court case because he admits to what he was doing, and that's a very interesting way to look at the film too. Is just, he's doing this, and how long has he been doing this? How long has he been eavesdropping on his neighbors and recording their phone calls and messages? And then this person, this young woman, just arrives at his door one day with his dog that he seemingly doesn't care about. And you brought up the parallel between the two characters earlier, the young judge and the old judge, and the young judge also has a dog the last time that the dog is seen is it's getting on the ferry with him It's getting on the boat with him, and so you don't find out what happens to him, which I think is just like an interesting little parallel. But yeah, this guy, he's doing these awful things, and it doesn't seem like he has any intention of stopping. And then this young woman enters his life, and it just kind of changes his perspective. And that's kind of what I took from it. It is, I guess I never looked at it from like oh, hey, like what if they were younger at the same time and born around the same time and had that chance at it. It was more so to me just reading it as just like we had talked about, those kind of tiny little decisions, those little moments of choice in your life that lead you to a specific moment and or lead you to a specific person. And I just find that element, that kind of element of fate, very, very interesting, in how this movie explores it. Because like I said, like what if she was listening to a different radio station, right? And there was never that disconnect and that fuzziness to it, and she would have never fiddled with it. And then she doesn't hit the dog, she never meets the judge. It's what if she had taken a different road that day? What if she had stayed a little longer at work, or the shoot had gone a little long? There's so many like little minute possibilities of where your life could go. Like the whole idea of like the butterfly effect is like always like in the back of my mind, of like one little thing can just set you on this path, and you never quite realize that one decision did that until you've reached the end of the path, and you're like, oh my God, just thinking back, like that one thing. And I mean, I'm kind of like closer to the end of my thoughts on this film, but I'd be remiss if we didn't discuss how this film ends and how it ties the entire trilogy together, not just thematically or through reoccurring visuals, but like legitimately plot and character, which is the ferry that, the movie kind of ends with the judge looking at the news on TV, and he sees that there was this huge ferry accident and there was only 7 survivors. And I don't know if you caught this either, because I didn't, but 7 is a reoccurring number throughout this trilogy.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, they're in the first film when they find the mice. There's 7 mice. I forget what the correlation is in Three Colors White, because that's the one I remember the least. But then in Three Colors Red, when Valentine tells the judge that his dog was going to have puppies, there ends up being 7 puppies, and then there ends up being 7 survivors of this crash, this ferry disaster. And then we see who the survivors are, and it's Carol and Dominique from Three Colors White, and it is Olivier and Julie from Three Colors Blue, and then also Valentine, and then I think August is the other one, and there might be one more person that I'm forgetting, but either way, I think that's just like a really nice little kind of bow tie to cap off this trilogy. Just all of these characters in this one very specific setting, this one very specific set and place. I just think it's a very interesting way to end it and tie it all together, I guess. But what did you think of it?
So like it just it completes this theme of unity. And even if it's not even like direct unity, it's just every person we've seen, we kind of get this this closure almost of like unification, I think. And then I love the ending with his name is Joseph, is it not? I don't know why it doesn't say that, because I have written as the judge being Joseph.
Oh, maybe it does have a name and I just didn't catch
but
it.
But IMDb doesn't have it listed as his name.
No, IMDb just has him as Le Juge.
Yeah, so I wrote Joseph, so I'm going to trust myself there. But just kind of like seeing him, that shot of him with like his tears are like coming up. That's like the end part, well, at least part of that. Does it end on him, or does it end on the final shot of her? Because there's that shot of him coming.
Ending, yeah.
But when he comes out of his house and he's kind of like just like looking off, and he's like, you see his eyes like welling up. You remember what I'm talking about?
I didn't get to watch that part again.
Well, I mean, that
yeah.
part, that's like one of my favorite parts of the end is like you get this cleansing, like this cathartic end for Joseph. Also, he kind of sees Valentine and fucking Auguste
Yes.
kind of like unified finally. And there's this look he has, and I'm just like reading it as like just he's hopeful. He's kind of like almost relieved that, and that's where I kind of like, I don't know, because there's so many parallels to him and the young judge, right? And I don't know, and I didn't want this to be confused of me like longing for a relationship to develop between them. You know, like I wasn't just looking at their.
No, it was just the way that you interpreted like their dynamic. It's
you
might be right.
And maybe it's because of that tie-in with August, but that end you just get that nice. It's like just closure, I guess. But then you get it with Joseph, who you just kind of feel for because he's just kind of lived this life of misery. I read my notes more. I guess the connection follows like his wife cheated on him just like August, and obviously they're both judges, so there's just like you just kind of want a win for them. And honestly the fact that his win is just like finding his sense of purpose through Valentine, and he is just happy to see her happy, and that's what those tears reflect to me, I guess. It's just such a sweet ending. It's so, I just feel the most complete with this movie. I'm just gonna say this is my favorite of the trilogy. I like that it kind of like brings everything together from the first two. It kind of plays into what I find interesting the most about just the interconnectedness of people. But yeah, dude, it's
what I love about what you just said is there. Because on paper, it may sound a little cliche, the idea of like, oh, old man who's lost his purpose in life meets young woman who, through her vibrancy and her positivity and outlook on life, changes the way he wants to carry himself from then on. That might sound a little cliche. I mean, like that's like kind of like Lost in Translation. You know, there's a lot of films that I feel like tackle that sort of premise and character dynamic. But the way that Three Colors Red chooses to explore it and also present it, it just feels so genuine in its execution. Like it doesn't feel artificial or that it comes, you know, in like this cheesy, hammy kind of way. It feels very just authentic, and that's just something that this trilogy has done extremely well from the start. Is just the authenticity and the genuine nature of its characters and what it's trying to say, because inherently all three of these films are these kind of positive movies about living life, like not letting things restrict you, not letting things hold you back, and just actually going out and like living. And that's kind of what each of these, and it chooses to explore it in like different ways and with different characters and tones. However, I think ultimately what brings it all together is that kind of through line of these characters who feel like there's no purpose, there's no meaning, and then they find that meaning. And again, I just love how genuine it is about all of that. I will go on record and say that while I love this film, I love everything about it, I do still prefer Three Colors Blue. And even though I only got to watch like an hour of it again today before we sat down to record, I still think that I prefer Blue. It just, that one, the way it uses the color of blue in that movie, I think is just incredible. And I love the dynamic between Valentine and Joseph, the judge in this. I love that. But I think just Julie's character arc in that first film just speaks to me a little bit more. And also just everything with the music in that film and how music and sound is just so creatively implemented into that Three Colors Blue. But that's not to diminish Red at all. Red is fantastic. And honestly, White is great as well. I love all of them.
White is it's like the weird like forgotten child. But I will say, I recently was talking to my one friend, who's honestly like one of my huge go-tos with just movie conversation and just opinions. Like he's like, I've learned a lot from him over the years. His favorite is White, and like I was like, wow. And I honestly, we didn't really talk about it much because we were talking about so many other things. It just kind of came over it like in passing. He's like honestly, White is my favorite, and I wish I could remember why, but he said Blue was. He said they're all great. Like it's one of those things where it's like it's hard to pick one, but he said Blue is his third, and I'm like, wow. It's just everyone is. I'm shocked. I'm shocked how many people do like White. It's obviously not as many as like Red or even Blue, but
yeah. No,
yeah,
I think it's very similar to. I think we've already said this on one of these episodes, but it's very similar to like the Before trilogy, where I would not fault anybody for choosing any one of those as their favorite.
Even Lord of the Rings, like it's you know.
And Two Towers is the weakest.
Surprisingly, though, I hear so many people put that as their favorite, their best.
And it's
the
all
battle.
Because of Helm's Deep. It's Helm's Deep.
It's the battle. Yeah.
I'm not gonna play the hey, like if you remove that scene, but to me, like 90% of the iconic scenes in the entire trilogy come in that first movie.
Yeah, and you know what? It plays into like that first movie. You're getting these relationship introductions. You're kind of getting the biggest dynamics, I think.
Yeah.
Between
I like when the fellowship is all together.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I view Red. You know, that's kind of like what attracts me to Red. Also, is like it's so it feels the most intimate. Although Blue's pretty intimate, but
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. Blue, I think, is easier to pick out those technical perfections, I think.
Oh, see, I think the cinematography in Red is the most stylized.
Really? Because like Blue has a lot of those like those pool scenes Blue, even are very like they're not like overbearing or anything, but
in Red there's a lot of very, very like, how do I want to describe it? The cinematography in Red, the camera movements feel so much more exaggerated. Like you said, that opening shot when it's zooming through. We didn't really talk about the one scene towards the end, but when Joseph approaches Irene in that like that theater type room where there's all the red around. There's that one shot where it's like the camera like just like falls
maybe
essentially
with
and like moves around. That's the thing. I think it has like the most noticeable cinematography. It's great, but Blue feels a little more reserved, I guess, and it's
I think I'm talking about technical also with sound, because I think Blue really leans into like, so like I think maybe that's what I'm like combining.
Blue uses sound the most interesting, like whether it's that scene where they're changing the score and like as they're talking about it, you use the different instruments. The one scene you had highlighted at the beginning when she throws the sheet music away and the music gets all distorted. That one I think is easily the most focused on sound of the
and maybe
trilogy.
Because the lighting, I get the most of its color use from its lighting in Blue, whereas Red is mostly like production design. I think from what I'm remembering.
Well, what I think is interesting about Blue is that I think, unless I'm forgetting, it's the only one in the trilogy that has like a specific item attached to the color. Like Red, it's the production design. White, it's like the snow and stuff. But in Blue, there's the beads. Like there's not really like a beads equivalent in White or Red. Unless I'm like forgetting, but
yeah,
so I think
feel
that's
like Blue.
Like an interesting.
I think Blue does the best job of like using natural things to elevate the color of like the scene, like the pool. There's like a natural glow to the pool, and it's it's obviously like emphasized the lighting shining through the beads, creating this blue glare. So good. It's just like, man, I need this trilogy in 4K. That's what I need.
Dude, I want is that they have
it's on
the
sale.
Criterion
it's on sale. Yeah, I think it's like $60. I don't know if it still is.
It's probably not. 3 Colors Trilogy 4K. It is on Amazon
Oh,
for
62.
$62.
Jesus, 125
Wow,
regular
that
price.
that's. I need that though, because I do wanna rewatch all of these movies again, probably sometime next year. They feel like even just watching it today, like again, it's like 30 degrees outside. Like I don't know if you can kind of see it. Like that's not just like overexposed. There's snow outside.
Yeah, it looks like 3 colors white.
Yeah, it does. Dude. I'm literally hitting all the beads. I got the red sweatshirt. My
Yeah,
curtains
you
are blue,
got the drapes.
and the white. even my album over there. We got Led Zeppelin 3. You know, a lot of white on that one.
Yep.
But yeah. So I mean, I'm pretty much at the end of my thoughts. I know we probably took a little too long talking about our top 20 this episode, but it probably helped pad the runtime because obviously we both didn't get a chance to fully revisit this movie before recording here. But I still think we had a good conversation.
I think we still got like 50 minutes out of this.
Yeah, so that's very impressive.
4:45.
I'm happy with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah. Do you have any more thoughts, or do you think we should get on to scoring these?
Let's see.
I didn't have that many notes to begin with.
I have one small note, just like more of like a blocking choice. When they're listening to the music in the store,
Mm-hmm.
and then he leaves, and it pans over to Valentine listening to the same thing, and their backs were together. Just a nice little reveal there. Just love that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I did
no,
note that
yeah.
even though this movie doesn't focus on music, I thought the score was pretty fantastic.
Can't remember it. Can't remember. I gotta
thought all of the
revisit
music
it.
was very complimentary. It didn't. I also wrote that this movie hates dogs, which it kind of does.
Yeah, because Lassie must be a cat person.
Probably. We didn't really talk about it, but this ended up being Kieslowski's last film. I think he would pass away around 2 years after this, but it's not like he died and like was planning on making more. He went into Three Colors Red with the intention that this was going to be his last film, and that's pretty awesome because for like a final film for a director, like we didn't really talk too much this episode about like the reception of these movies as a whole, but like we had said, they're all very well received, but Three Colors Red is considered one of the greatest films of all time. It is very high up on the Letterboxd top 250. I forget exactly how high, but again, 100 on Metacritic, 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. So for your final film to be so revered and considered to be your magnum opus, to be considered your best. So what I'm saying there is Josh is a normie for liking Red the most, and I am super unique and have my own unique opinions for liking Blue more. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I do have a fun fact here.
Yes.
Kieslowski filmed the final scene of Red before filming Blue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. Blue came out a whole year before this.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
He must have filmed them all like back to back, which is crazy.
Could have been like a Lord of the Rings thing.
Yeah, maybe. All right, shall we get into scores?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Jake's gonna be so mad at me. He's gonna be so mad. I'm giving Red, after one watch, I'm giving Red a 9.8 out of 10.
Well, now I feel like an asshole copycat. I'm also giving it a 9.8 out of 10.
Hey, all right.
Yeah. It's almost there for me, but I just like Blue just a smidge more. But who knows? I've changed my favorite before movie like 5 different fucking times.
Dude, my God. This guy goes on roller coasters too much. Too much.
If none of you probably are because we don't pull like that. But if you are a returning viewer of this podcast and if you listened to our Harry Potter episodes and specifically if you're, what is it, Lauren's cousin?
Yeah.
or your cousin. Lauren,
Lauren's cousin.
who's Josh's wife's cousin, was very upset with my opinions on especially Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I hope that you can all take solace, and specifically her, in I love Harry Potter again, and I bumped up each of the movies pretty much,
Every
almost all
movie.
of them 1 point.
Yeah.
Not everyone. Not
Oh yeah,
everyone,
yeah. Some
but
some you were pretty like 3. You kind of just like were always.
Three was gonna, yeah. I mean, like on an enjoyment level, Harry Potter 3 is like a 10. But all right, guys. Well, that's really it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed us talking about Three Colors Red. I know it was a little stagnant at points, a little dysfunctional, but again, give us some grace. Life is busy, and we didn't both get a chance to really revisit it. But again, I think we had a good conversation. Also, if you haven't, check out for some reason, if you watch this one and not the other two, check out our other 2 episodes on Three Colors Blue and Three Colors White. You can find us anywhere that you get your podcast: Spotify, Apple Podcast, and on YouTube on the Former Film Student YouTube channel, which is my personal YouTube channel. And Josh, before you plug our socials, I do have a question for you.
Oh.
Because I like to do questions. This one's kind of fun, actually.
Is this a
So,
20-second question?
This is a 20-second question.
Oh, okay.
So Josh has 20 seconds at the end of every episode. I give him a little stopwatch to answer a question of my choosing. And it's always fun to see him sweat. There's only one that he answered very quickly, and it was, what's the best decade for movies? Which he said the 70s. All right.
Easy peasy.
Your question, Josh, is if you could direct a movie for any franchise, what would you pick? Starting now.
Wait, whoa. If I could direct, could you repeat it?
What do you mean? If you can pick any franchise to direct a movie for, what franchise would you pick?
An established franchise?
That's what.
Like,
if you want to pick a non-established one.
oh, Jesus. Cornetto. God.
That's not. No.
I don't know. What do you want from me, man? I didn't understand your question.
That's just a. What do you mean? You could have said, "Oh, I'd make a Marvel movie. I'd make a DC movie. I'd make like a Harry Potter prequel."
Okay. It's something that doesn't exist. You didn't really elaborate on that.
What?
I thought you were saying if there was a movie like any franchise you could have been a part of, like directing. Which one would you?
That's not what I said. I specifically said, if you could direct a movie for any franchise, what franchise?
Oh. Jesus. I don't. Oh, you know what? The fourth installment to the Cornetto. The fourth installment.
Hey, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, I got an idea for you. You could have been like, oh, James Bond, or no. I would direct like a Lord of the Rings prequel.
No, I wouldn't.
Or a Marvel movie.
No, I wouldn't do any of that. No, honestly, I'm sticking with Cornetto.
He would kick Edgar Wright out of the director's chair. And,
are you asking that? Like, I don't. That's a weird question. That's a bad question. Bad question.
I thought that would be the easiest, or not the easiest, but the most fun one to answer. It just, what?
Is it like? Are you asking? Am I like replacing the director because I think I could do better? I'm not saying Cornetto. Please, Edgar Wright, you direct that.
I feel like this is maybe the simplest question I've asked.
No, it's not. The simplest is best decade. One
Josh,
answer. Not
if what you're thinking I asked was what I asked, I would have said, hey, if you could replace any director for any movie, what would you choose? I feel like I was very specific in, hey, any franchise, any movie, and then you asked an established. What's a not established franchise, Josh?
No, like am I creating something that doesn't exist? Like am I?
Then it wouldn't be a franchise.
Yeah, I didn't listen to you then. I just didn't listen to you.
Okay.
I just didn't listen to you.
I'm sticking with fourth Cornetto movie.
Yeah, you know that's a good answer. That's a good answer. What do you mean?
That is a good
What would your answer be? I want to know what your answer would be.
I've always wanted to direct a Flash movie for DC.
See, I don't like this question.
It's like a very fun question.
I don't like it. It is too confusing.
All right. Well, if you're listening to this, let me know if that was a confusing question.
Like, there's only so, like, I don't know. It works with so little, like, categories, I think.
It literally works with any franchise. Again, James Bond, Marvel,
you know what?
DC. You could have said, "Hey, you could have said, hey, I want to make a Marauders movie for Harry Potter."
I was gonna just say that. I was gonna say that because now I'm thinking about. See, 20 seconds is enough. And if I asked to repeat the question, you got to pause the time because I clearly didn't understand the question. Bullshit. Oh,
that's my answer. I'd make a Marauders movie for Harry Potter.
I'd make a prequel of all the heads of the houses in
that would be cool. See, that's my answer. A good answer.
Yeah. Well, now that I understand the question, but also, you know what? I want a fourth.
I'm not giving you
movie,
this.
So
it's not. I also want a fourth. Actually, I don't know, dude. I didn't see The Running Man, but I have heard not great things about it.
It's just not. No, he needs to just go back to his team. Just go back to your team.
I don't mean this in like a rude way, but I think we all overestimated how good of a director he was.
Yeah, it makes me sad. He's kind of losing it.
It's kind of like frustrating, and this was my like experience when Last Night in Soho came out, was like in every one of his successful movies, he's always kind of parodying or satirizing something, right? Like Cornetto, each one's a satire. I guess Baby Driver is more of like a conventional action movie, but
to be honest, I sometimes forget about it, and I think Baby Driver is really good.
I like Baby Driver, yeah.
But I kind of forget that's one of his movies.
I guess it's just been his last two. I mean, I didn't see The Running Man. I've heard.
No, I heard things from like.
I've heard very everyone. Like mid reactions, but all right. Yeah, Josh, you want to plug our socials quick, and then we'll get out of here.
All right, guys. Head over to Instagram, follow us at Franchise Deep Dive, and you know what? Let us know if you like Jake's question. If you think I was deserving of a repeat, all I wanted was a repeat for the question. But yeah. Like, comment, DM us any other franchises you want us to maybe tackle, and give us your opinion on Three Colors if you've checked it out. Let us know which one's your favorite, because I think Red's the best, and I think Jake's wrong. So yeah,
I am. I'm actually never wrong. Fun fact.
My vote for Jake's worst question. This was his worst question.
That's really not like the fact that you were so confused by it is like what concerns me.
I just don't listen to Jake. I just don't listen to him, I guess.
You were wait, what did we say in the podcast? You were hearing but not listening.
I don't know. I don't even I wasn't listening.
Yes, guys, follow us obviously on all our social medias, interact with us, leave a comment under this episode. Again, I don't know about Apple Podcasts, but I know on Spotify and on YouTube, obviously, you can leave comments. So let us know what you thought about the episode. And yeah, let us know about my question, because I feel like it's a very basic, normal question that like I've asked other people and they've given me normal answers.
Yeah, but other people don't have 20 seconds to understand the question and think about it.
No, it's not the fact that you were like thinking for 20 seconds. It's the fact that you didn't understand the question.
Yeah, I asked, wait, can you explain that question a little bit better or again? Because maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
It was the do you mean an established franchise? Because I still want to know what a non-established franchise is.
Like I don't know how Jake's not understanding my confusion there. It's literally me asking, do you mean just adding on to an established franchise or creating something that doesn't exist, like a franchise surrounding Harry Potter's, like, you know, head of households, or are you just saying
Josh,
add to?
But Harry Potter exists.
Yes, but all right, this guy's
Harry Potter.
He's not getting it.
Josh, Harry Potter is an established franchise.
Yeah, well, I don't know what I was asking then.
All right, guys, we're gonna get on out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I thought you meant like add on to an established or create. Even if it's a remake, create.
I think your phrasing is wrong, but I think I'm understanding what you're getting at.
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck you. Let's get out of here.
All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next episode of Franchise Deep Dive.
All right, later, guys.
Again, I don't know if the Batman episodes are going to be coming out after this. So you'll have, like I said, Batman 89 and Batman Forever, or I'm sorry, Batman Returns and Batman 89 on Franchise Deep Dive. Those will be 2 separate episodes featuring Cade from Cinema Dopes. And then if you want to go listen to me and Josh join their podcast, Cinema Dopes, we'll be discussing Batman Forever and Batman and Robin with them. So those should be out. Those will be our December episodes. And then, like I said, me and Josh might do like an end of the year recap, like talk about our favorite albums. Our Spotify Wrapped just came out too, so we could maybe talk about that. Favorite albums, favorite movies of the year, favorite TV shows, like talk about like maybe not even new movies that we watched this year that were new to us but were like older films. So we could just do like a fun end of the year recap episode. But either way, guys, we will catch you on the next episode of Franchise Deep Dive. Goodbye.
Later.